This is Divorce Court, presided over by Judge William Keene. In the case you're about to see, Mr. Jim Pony is suing his wife of 5 years, Drew Pony, for divorce on the grounds of adultery. Mrs. Pony is countersuing on grounds of mental and physical cruelty.
Mr. Rymer, do you desire to make an opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. The defendant in this case, Mrs. Pony, Your Honor, is a habitual adulterer. Jim Pony has been a loving and forgiving husband, but I'm afraid he's tolerated her lies long enough. Drew Pony has had several affairs since her first offense 3 years ago. She has a history of wild sex and also blatant exhibitionism. Now, Mr. Pony, on the other hand, has worked hard to give this woman a home. Your Honor, he has invested a large portion of his earnings to purchase land in Arizona, the land where his ancestors come, where he hopes to one day build a home. Now, plaintiff is seeking a divorce on the grounds of adultery and also seeks the total rights to this Arizona property. Thank you.
Mr. Wall, do you desire to make an opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor. My client, Drew Pony, has admitted to one sexual indiscretion which her husband forgave her for. Subsequent to that, his insane jealousy grew, and he physically injured her. He forced her to take dangerous drugs. She tolerated this abuse, hoping to save the marriage. Now she's found that impossible, and she's countersuing on the grounds of physical and mental cruelty and seeking a one-half interest in that Arizona property, which she did contribute a one-half share to purchase. Thank you.
Call your first witness, Mr. Rymer.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll call Jim Pony to the stand.
Jim Pony, the plaintiff in this case, will soon be sworn in. He claims his wife had many affairs during their 5-year marriage. He is asking for the total rights to land that the couple owns in Arizona. Testimony is about to begin.
Mr. Rymer?
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Jim, would you please tell the court how you and your wife first met?
Yeah, I was helping my mother out at this crafts fair. She makes jewelry. And Drew was trying on one of the silver earrings. We just kind of got to talking while I tried to sell it to her.
Did you make the sale?
Actually, I ended up giving it to her. My mom fired me. She tossed me right out of the booth. She said she could never make the rent that way. But Drew and I just started dating after that, just casually at first.
No, why was that?
Drew, she liked to play around. And I was working 3 weeks out of 4 weeks on this offshore oil rig, but all I could think about on that rig was Drew. So finally, I had to ask her to marry me so I wouldn't go crazy.
Now, when did you first have suspicions of your wife's infidelity?
Somebody at a bar told me that he had seen Drew fooling around and being very friendly with some guy. I almost punched that guy out for saying that kind of stuff about Drew, but then I just kept hearing all these whispers about her, so I just had to ask her if what I'd heard was true. She said that it was true.
What was your reaction?
You got to be realistic if you're a guy like me. I'm an Indian. I mean, I'm proud of it. I had a good job, but I was never going to have any kind of red Ferraris and big houses, and Drew was such a looker. All these guys were just all the time giving her the eye and checking her out, and so I could see the handwriting on the wall, but I would have done anything to keep her. So that's why I forgave her, but it was just stupid of me.
Well, why do you say that?
Because a couple of years down the line, she got this job as a lifeguard at a rich man's club. They had a reputation for big parties. I think that Drew just wanted to be the queen of the party girls.
What do you mean by queen?
Well, one night she told me that she had to work late, so I went down to say hello to her. Yeah, she was working late, all right. That club was lit up with tiki torches. They had music blaring. They had marijuana smoke every place. And they had about 35 people in the swimming pool. Everybody was naked, and there was Drew. And she had one arm around a bottle of champagne. She had the other arm around some man.
What did you do?
Yeah, what do you think I did? I dragged her out of there. And she accused me of being old-fashioned. She said, oh, you're uptight, and if I could just, if I couldn't get with it, well, then I could just get the hell out of her life.
Okay, then what did you do?
Now, I didn't get a chance to do anything. She packed up her bags after that, and she left me.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Mr. Pony, isn't it true that without prompting from you, your wife confessed her one and only indiscretion?
Are you kidding me? I practically had to
Beat it out of her, is that it?
I never touched Drew. I think if I had beat her, she'd have liked that better.
Could you then tell us how she came to suffer multiple lacerations on her buttocks and the back of her thighs?
Yeah, why don't you just ask her boyfriend how that happened?
Your Honor, I move to strike that remark.
No, I think it was responsive. Go ahead.
Do you own a bullwhip?
Yeah? And I see what you're getting at, but that answer's still no. I have never whipped Drew.
Have you ever been charged with assaulting a man?
Yeah, I was, but that don't mean that I whipped Drew.
Are you a practicing member of the Pequonset tribe?
Yeah, I'm proud. I'm a Pequonset.
And isn't it part of your tribal culture? Or what is the punishment for a woman in that tribal culture? A woman who commits adultery, that is.
You can sell the woman, you can give her away, or you can physically punish her. But you can't physically punish her now, but that's the way it used to be in the old days.
Isn't the most common form of physical corporal punishment whipping?
Yeah, but what are you trying to tell me? You're trying to tell me because I'm an Indian and I'm proud of my culture that I got to be a savage? Well, let me tell you something. I wish Drew had lived back when I could have whipped her because she deserved it.
Your Honor, no further questions.
I never hurt Drew.
All right, Mr. Pony. Mr. Pony,
I didn't hurt her.
you may
While
step
Mr.
down.
Jim Pony leaves the stand, we
Call
have
your next
time
witness,
for a
Mr. Rymer.
break. We return now to divorce court. About to testify on behalf of Jim Pony is Kyle Preston, his friend and next-door neighbor.
Mr. Rymer.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Mr. Preston, have you ever seen Mrs. Pony in the company of other men?
Well, I don't think she had much time left over to be in the company of women, that's for sure. As soon as Jim would leave for work, Drew could have used a valet parker at her place.
Okay, could you please be a little bit more specific?
Yeah, sure. There's this friend of mine. He's a tennis pro at the club. I seen his Porsche parked out front all night one night, and there was another time I was at a motel bar. I was having a beer, and I saw Drew and this man. They checked into the motel. A couple hours later, when I was leaving, I checked the register, and how do you like this for gall? They signed in as Mr. and Mrs. Pony.
Objecting, Your Honor.
All right, that last sentence will be stricken. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Was there any one person in particular that Mrs. Pony entertained in her apartment?
Well, this might be a little hard to swallow, but it was that priest right back there.
Please tell the court what you saw.
Well, he'd come over at least once a week, and well, let me tell you, I was raised Catholic, and believe me, I ain't ever seen no priest take a woman in his arms the way I seen the father holding Jim's wife.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Mr. Preston, you seem to know an awful lot about my client's sexual life. What is the reason for that interest?
No big deal. I'm her neighbor. Drew could probably tell you just as much about me.
And being a neighbor, you find it's necessary to follow her to motels, jot down the number of license plates of cars at her house?
Okay, all right. Jim, he just asked me to keep my eye on her. He was worried, and I didn't follow her to no motel.
I'd like to mark this check for identification.
We'll mark that as Defendant's A.
It's made out to Mr. Preston's landlord, and it's signed by Mr. Pony. Was the plaintiff paying your rent so that you would spy on his wife?
No. Jim was just lending me a few bucks till I got back on my feet, that's all.
And you wanted to make sure that he got every cent or everything it was worth?
Look, man, it wasn't that way. Look, everything I told you was true.
No further questions.
You may step down. Call your next witness, Mr. Rymer.
No further witness, Your Honor. Plaintiff rests.
All right, Mr. Wall, call your first witness.
I called Drew Pony to the stand, Your Honor.
Step forward, Mrs. Pony.
Now taking the stand is Drew Pony, the defendant. She claims her husband forgave her for her single act of adultery, but was abusive to her thereafter because of it. Mrs. Pony is also seeking title to half the couple's Arizona property.
Mr. Wall.
Mrs. Pony, please tell the court your relationship with your husband after you were married.
Well, all the other men that I had known let me know right from the start exactly what they wanted from me. But with Jim, it was different. He looked inside of me. It wasn't as if he was seeing just a body or a face. I never realized that one little look could make me feel so loved. But I'm sorry to say he didn't continue looking at me that way.
Tell the court what happened then.
Well, he didn't like any of my friends. As a matter of fact, he thought the whole world was thinking impure thoughts about me. So after we were married, he forbade me to see them. And for a couple of years, I did. I was incredibly lonely. I didn't get along with his friends very well.
Was that then very hard on you?
Yes, very. And it boomeranged, believe me. One time, Jim had been out on the rig for about 3 weeks, and an old boyfriend called and asked me to dinner. I was starved for a little bit of attention and affection. And I had one too many drinks, and I wound up the next morning in my friend's bed.
Now, how did you feel when you realized just what had happened?
I felt terrible. I realized that I had made a mistake, and all I wanted to do is fix it. I thought I might have jeopardized my marriage because of it. I just wanted to tell Jim how sorry I was and how much I loved him.
What did he say?
He said that his people had ways of dealing with women like me. And that's when he brought out the whip.
That was the bullwhip?
The bullwhip.
Now, how long, or did his abusive behavior then continue?
Oh, he stopped for a while after he saw the scars. He begged me to forgive him, and I did. But he started getting suspicious again, and he grilled me constantly about where did I go and what did I do. I couldn't even go to the laundromat without getting the third degree. And then one day he put something in my food. I started hallucinating and crying and screaming, and the ground under my feet started rolling up. I thought I was going to die. He said that my spirit had told him that I had been unfaithful, and he started slapping me around and ordering me to tell him the truth, but there was nothing to tell. I swear.
And then what happened?
I ran away. And Father Hagen found me in the courtyard at the church. He took me to the hospital.
Now,
I found out that Jim had given me peyote.
Now, why did Father Hagen visit you in your apartment late at night?
Father Hagen was counseling me, and at night was the only time we could get together. We were not having an affair. Only Kyle Preston and my husband could possibly even dream of something like
Your Honor.
that.
That's speculation.
All right, that objection is sustained. Go ahead, Mr. Wall.
Why did you tolerate your husband's abuse for so long?
I loved him. And I kept trying and hoping that he would believe me, but he never did.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination, Mr. Rymer.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Mrs. Pony, you testified that you disliked the way men looked at your body, and yet you took off your clothes in a public swimming pool. Now, isn't that a little inconsistent?
Listen, nudity is nothing, there's nothing dirty about it. There are 10 million nudists in this country.
Your Honor, I have 2 photographs. I'd like them marked for identification.
We'll mark them as Plaintiff's Exhibit 1 and 2.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Mrs. Pony, could you please tell the court why these nude photographs of you were pinned to the lockers of lifeguards at the pool?
They were stolen out of my apartment.
Now, wait a minute. Why did you have them taken in the first place?
I was going to send them into a men's magazine. I wanted to be a centerfold.
Mrs. Pony, these photographs have inscriptions. To Tommy, you're the best. I loved you in the pool. Signed, Drew. To Jeff, the marathon man himself. Signed, Happy But Beat, Drew. Now, wait a minute. Can you explain how these inscriptions got on these photographs?
The guys at the pool thought if I sent my picture into this magazine, I could be the centerfold, right? I would make $20,000 just for taking my clothes off. That does not mean that I'm a whore. And the inscriptions on them were just a joke. You think I'd really sign those pictures if I was sleeping with these men?
Could you please tell the court what you were doing at the Adam and Eve Club?
I was entered in a dance contest.
Wasn't this contest a strip tease contest where if this audience really liked you, they'd stuff money in your G-string?
Yes, but I never let them touch me, and that's why I was seeking counsel from Father Hagen. I was never unfaithful. I just liked them to look.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
You may step down. Call your next witness, Mr.
While
Wall.
Mrs.
we
Pony
call
leaves
Father
the stand,
Hagen to
we
the
have
stand.
time for a short break.
Step forward, Father.
We return now to divorce court. About to testify on behalf of Drew Pony is Father Timothy Hagen, who also holds a degree in psychology.
Mr. Wall.
Yes. Father Hagen, what was the defendant doing when you found her in your church?
Well, she was still under the influence of the hallucinogenic drug that her husband had given her, the peyote. And she kept repeating that perhaps if she were ugly, her husband would trust her. And she was about to disfigure herself, to burn her cheek with a candle when I found her.
In the course of your therapy, did Mrs. Pony ever indicate why she chose you for therapy?
Well, as a priest, I was neutral. She said that I looked upon her as a human being.
Besides counseling the defendant, did you offer any other help to her?
I suggested that I have counseling sessions with both Drew and Jim.
And what was the result of that suggestion?
Well, I went to Jim to speak about it, and he said that I was just another someone who had had relations with his wife and that the church had ruined his tribe, and then he took a swing at me.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Father Hagen, have you ever been convicted of a felony?
They were acts of civil disobedience prompted by my conscience.
Isn't it true that you're a member of a group of priests who advocate that the vows of celibacy are archaic and that priests should be allowed to have sex?
It is my belief that priests should be allowed to marry.
Could you please tell the court about the nude photographs that the church censored you for taking?
They were neither lascivious nor provocative. They were objects of art, and they were exhibited in an art gallery.
Now, did you also take the photographs of Mrs. Pony?
Certainly not.
Why did you leave your previous post in New York, your halfway house for teenage prostitutes?
I was transferred by the diocese.
Isn't it true that you were transferred because you were having sex with the girls under your care?
I did not. That was an allegation made by opponents of the halfway house, and it was never proven.
Well, proven or not, isn't that the reason you were transferred?
It could have been.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Father, you may step down. Call your next witness, Mr.
I have
Wall.
one more witness. I call James Garrett to the stand.
Step forward, Ms. Garrett.
James Garrett is being called to testify for Drew Pony. His name was not among the others listed for witnesses. Apparently, he will give new and important information about the time Kyle Preston saw Mrs. Pony check into a motel with a man other than her husband.
Mr. Wall.
State your name and occupation for the court, please.
My name is James Garrett. I'm a detective sergeant with the county sheriff's department.
Please tell the court how you met Mrs. Pony.
I answered a complaint. She stated that someone had entered her house unlawfully and gone through her things. She also felt that she was being followed and watched. She'd been receiving notes threatening to tell her husband she was unfaithful.
Now, what did you do?
We watched her apartment, but that failed to turn anything up. We finally decided on a plan of action to try and trap the person. We checked into the Starbright Motel together and waited to see if anyone would follow.
Now, what were the results of that?
A car later discovered to be registered to Kyle Preston drove past the motel 15 times that night. I then caught him peeking in the window.
And what did you do then?
I identified myself as a police officer, but he didn't believe me. I was about to arrest him for harassment when Mrs. Pony declined to press charges. She stated that she knew Mr. Preston and was sure that the harassment would stop.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Mr. Garrett, did Mr. Preston admit to sending the blackmail notes?
He claimed he didn't know anything about them.
Did you ever prove who sent the notes?
No, Drew, Mrs. Pony decided not to press charges, so I had to let the matter drop.
So isn't it a possibility that the reason she didn't want to press charges was because she was setting up Mr. Preston, that she sent the blackmail notes to herself?
Anything's a possibility. Very unlikely.
Now, Mr. Garrett, in your experience as a police detective, in the matter of blackmail, is it usual for someone to just drop the charges?
No, but in this
A simple
case, you have
no
to
is
understand.
fine, Mr. Garrett, really. Since the matter with Mr. Preston has been dropped, now, have you ever been seeing Mrs. Pony socially?
Yeah, but just for dinner.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, you may step down. Anything further from the defendant?
Defense rests, Your Honor.
Anything further from the plaintiff?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
I'll hear closing arguments at this point.
Thank you, Your
Mr.
Honor.
Rymer?
Your Honor, in closing, plaintiff would just like to demonstrate that besides being an admitted adulterer, the defendant is also a liar and a proven exhibitionist. Evidence has shown that she has cavorted nude in swimming pool sex orgies. She assigned provocative nude photographs of herself and congratulating her sex partners for their virility. I also recommend that the court look into the defendant's misuse of our local police force by constructing a false case of harassment. In conclusion, Your Honor, for these reasons, my client asks the court to grant him a divorce as well as award him the property in Arizona. Thank you.
Mr. Wall?
Yes, my client has been subjected to 3 years of abuse and neglect for one single indiscretion, and that one single indiscretion does not make an affair. Mr. Pony has used a bullwhip on my client. He has subjected her to the use of dangerous psychedelic drugs. Except for Father Hagen's intervention, she would have been disfigured. She's been subjected to physical and mental cruelty, in which are the grounds that we're asking that the divorce be awarded. We're asking for $600 a month in spousal support, plus 1/2 of the Arizona property, which she did contribute to out of her own funds. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel.
While Judge Keene considers today's testimony in order to reach a decision, we have time for a break. We return now to divorce court. Judge Keene has reached his decision and is about to inform both parties.
All right, my compliments to Mr. Rymer and Mr. Wall for a case well presented from each side and well argued. First, let me state that I've known Detective Garrett and his work for many years. He's testified in my court quite often. I have no cause to doubt his integrity or professionalism. Mr. Rymer, your request, therefore, for a police inquiry is denied. All right, the Pony marriage is over and beyond repair. They each seek a divorce, and it will be granted. Adultery by Mrs. Pony, yes, once, but that was condoned by Mr. Pony. After that, the evidence is not clear, and that has not been proved by the burden that the law requires, which is a preponderance of the evidence. Because of her exhibitionism, it is easy to see how her husband could erroneously have construed that as adulterous. The court cannot and does not condone the physical abuse and the potentially irreparable damage caused by drugging Mrs. Pony. Ancient tribal custom is no justification. It will therefore be the judgment of this court that a divorce be granted to Mrs. Pony on grounds of physical and mental cruelty. Mrs. Pony is employed in a good job, and there will be no spousal support. Mr. Pony will pay for attorney fees. The Arizona property, the key marital asset, was acquired during the marriage, with each party contributing equally to its purchase and mortgage payments. It will therefore be divided equally. The defendant will prepare the written judgment. It will be submitted to counsel for the plaintiff for approval as to form and content. You'll then submit it to this court for signature within 30 days. This court stands in recess.
Divorce court is a dramatization based on cases and issues raised in the family courts in this nation. The jurisdiction is an amalgamation of the laws of all 50 states. The laws in your community may differ. The cases are argued by attorneys and presided over by Judge William Keene, who has served in the Superior Court of Los Angeles for 18 years.